ghost story. Tonight we go back, I think this was 1989, so back to the 80s again. And it was coming towards Halloween. No significance for the story, but it was them nights, you know, that were very dark, very crisp, not frosty as such, but cold. When you got the full moon, it lit up the sky. You know, it was really bright. And I used to hang around at school with one of my best friends, was called Jason Pattinson. And this one night, we hadn't got anything to do, such, you know. Was a little bit bored, so she would take the dog for a walk. My mum and dad's dog. So she said, yeah, can do, where should we go? And we've got two massive sort of like, not fields as such, but there's one where they play football, which is all the fields, and then on the other side it's a really hilly slope. The fields are called Darley Fields, and on the opposite side of the river you've got Darley Park. We said, well, we'll do the whole lap. So we said, yeah, okay, we can do. So we got the dog, it was a collie, and off we went. Anyway, we were just chatting as, you know, kids do. I think we must have been, it was coming towards the end of the last years of school, so 15 going on 16, I think. Anyway, we walked across Darley Fields. Yes, it's dark, but the moon was bright, and it was a full moon that night. You know, not really worried about anything, just chit-chatting about what we'd done at school, girls and the like, you know, that sort of stuff that kids do. We made it past Darley Abbey, over the weir, and then round through onto Darley Park. Now Darley Park has got, it's where they have some of the Darley concerts, very good for sledging, but we'd heard it was sort of like a tourist for hauntings and stuff. We never really believed in anything like that, never really seen anything either, but we used to scare each other by telling stories, you know, just make believe rubbish. Anyway, we were going across Darley Park, the moon was really bright, really full, not a cloud in the sky but cold, you know, dogs going around doing what it does, you know, off to the trees, into the bushes and stuff, and it's quite a big open expanse, but there's trees all around, dotted around the park itself. So we were just walking, and about halfway you meet sort of where the river is, and there's what looks like an old Victorian bridge, or what used to be a bridge. I don't know if it's a sewer now, but it's got them lovely little made out of concrete, like little mini pillars about yay big, with flat on the top, but it sort of goes in like that to hold them up, and there's about 20 of them all in a row, and underneath there's the remnants of this bridge or sewer or whatever it is, and we're sort of walking past this area, and we've just actually walked past it, and for some reason I turn round to my right and I look up to the top of the hill, really big hill. I mean, you're probably talking, I don't know, 80-foot elevation, 80 to 100 feet. It's quite tall. And anyway, I'm sort of looking, and I can see this figure on the hill. So I stopped to Jace, what's that? I said, can you see that? He was like, yeah. Now, when we both stopped, the dog wasn't near us, but then the dog came back to us, and she just sat there, which isn't like you, and was like, right, something's not quite right. Anyway, we noticed that this figure was running down the hill towards us. Right, okay. So, you know, again, it's nice to have your story corroborated with two of you there, both seeing the same things, and we're just looking off to the right, just staring at this figure running down the hill towards us. Now, no facial features, couldn't tell you height, at least it would be a guess if I did, probably say about 5.5 to 6 foot, but it got what you'd probably see in the old style horror movies when they've got like the cloak and the shawl on. That's what it looked like at the time anyway, but you couldn't see any facial features. Anyway, this figure runs past us about no more than 10 feet away from us, and we're just following it. It's like, what the hell? So, bloody Looney Tunes here. Anyway, this figure goes up to where this old bridge is. You know, this old concrete sort of bridge, and it leans over, which is where the river is, stops for about 5 seconds, lifts its head back up, turns around and starts running back towards going up the hill. You know, and me and Jason are sort of looking at each other like, what the hell? So you know, someone's been smoking a little bit, you know, a bit too much on this one. Anyway, it gets sort of coming back and it gets in line with us, and this figure stops. Then the dog, who's sat sort of next to us, goes running up to the figure. She was a friendly dog, you know, she was always liked a bit of a fuss sort of thing, you know, so it was no sort of hardship that, you know, there's a person there. You know, I never thought it would be a mass murder or something, you're going to hurt the dog, but you know, I thought the dog will look after itself. So off it went, got to the figure, and just sort of like, the best way I can describe it didn't go on all fours, but it went down, almost like submissive, and then came back sort of trotting, but hunched down. I don't think it was whimpering, but you could see it was, whatever it had seen, it was very submissive immediately. And we were like, what? And anyway, this figure just carried on running, you know, back up towards the hill, and we watched it probably go a quarter way up this hill, not slowing down in any way, shape or form, and we were like, you did see that, didn't you? And he was like, yeah. And anyway, we both then turned back to check this figure again, nobody there. Still 3/4, so you're talking, I don't know, 60, 70 feet of hill to go up, and it's a pretty decent slope as well. Used to get a lot of fitness people using that hill for stamina, you know, for cardio. And within, you know, turning to each other, so did you see, you know, you did see that, didn't you, like 5 seconds, turning back, this thing had disappeared. Now, we do still reminisce about this one, because I don't actually know what it was. If it was a spirit or a ghost, then I've literally seen a spirit or a ghost for probably 2 to 3 minutes, just running in front of me and then back. The reason or the fact that the dog acknowledged it, does that mean then it was a normal person or not a normal person? Because no normal person would end up doing that, but you know, a normal full-bodied person. Don't know what she saw to make her scared or submissive. She was never like that with anybody usually. But yeah, it was one of the freakiest things. And then after it had run up so far the hill, we turned to each other, turned back, and it had gone. We can't account for that either. But the dress, you know, it's sort of cloak, oldie worldy sort of cloak and shawl. Yeah, as you can see, I'm still baffled by it now, but to literally stand and watch this thing run past you, run back, stop, and then run back again for about 2 or 3 minutes, just watching this figure, you know, and for two of you to see exactly the same thing, and then just like in disbelief of each other. Could it have been a ghost? Could it have been a spirit? It was either a spirit, or someone had either been smoking a little bit too much, or they were just not right and they'd escaped from somewhere. I can't 100% say a paranormal guy, but one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me. I've not been across that park for a long time now, but every time I go, that's stuck in my mind now for 30 years. So yeah, I mean, true story, as well as the, you know, all the stories that myself and Ralph go through. It's the, you know, what we've seen as kids, or the things that led us towards being ghost hunters. It's that sort of thing. Yeah, and as unreal as some of them seem, they are all true. But thanks for listening, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll be back with another one soon, as will Ralph. If you've got any stories yourself that you want to send in, please do so. Send us a comment down the bottom, and if you want to, you can either send us a story via the email link, or via YouTube in the comments section. Just send us your story. I'll do my best to read it out for you. If I make a bit of a pig's ear of it, I apologise, but I will do my best. Don't forget to put your name down with the story, so I can read out who it's from. Yeah, and everyone stay safe. Hopefully we'll be getting through this soon. Fingers crossed. But until next time, I'll see you soon.